Emporium in the Philippines. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat. And for the people in the U.S. watching this live at the Emporium, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to at least check it out. Check us out. Emporium is a unique U.S. base, the first of its kind. Okay, the first of its kind. It's a Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center. And its purpose is to create awareness as well as sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. And Emporium is actually a physical place. Like I said, that's where I'm at right now. It's located at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come and visit, please do so. We welcome you. Just go ahead and let us know when you're coming. Thank you. But what the Live Emporium is, this is one of the tools that we use to create the awareness, the sales opportunities by people watching, and hopefully organically, or what we're doing on social media is reaching other people. And I think it is. At the end of the day, what we want is that awareness creation. Okay, so that's what Live at the Emporium is. And today it is packed full of amazing stuff. I have a question for all of the Philippine manufacturers watching us right now. Now, what is it about your Philippine-made products that you believe will resonate with customers in the U.S.? I would really like for you to go ahead and put it in the chat box wherever you're watching us. If you're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we are now on Instagram. It's also on Twitter, which is amazing. I'm hoping that we're able to reach more people in these different platforms. But if you're watching in any of those platforms, go ahead and please let us know what is it about your product that would resonate with the U.S. market. Okay, you can go ahead and type it in the chat box. Hello and welcome to our live stream event. This live stream event is called Dear Filipino Brands. Your Amazon customers are definitely waiting for you. Of course, I embellished on the definitely. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am the number one Philippine-made product advocate, your co-host, as well as the co-founder of Emporium. Okay, tonight we're diving into the world of opportunity where the charm and uniqueness of Philippine-made products meet the vast landscape of the U.S. market. Now, imagine the potential products crafted in the heart of the Philippines finding its way into the American home. And that's what we want to see, right? Becoming a part of everyday life across the ocean. Now, but how do we do that? How do we do that? That's such a big task for all the Philippine manufacturers watching me. You're probably going, wow, that's tough, man. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Paano ko ba gawin yun? Mahirap ata eh. But in the end of the day, at the end of the day, as everybody says, we're going to try to see if we can make it a little bit lighter, or somewhat easier, relatively easier. Okay. So again, how do we do that? How do we bridge this gap between the local craftsmanship and international success? Now, how can your Philippine brand capture the hearts and interests of the American consumers on the Amazon platform? Now, that's the journey we're embarking on this session. Let's do an overview. This is just going to be an overview of the series of segments or episodes that we're going to do regarding Amazon. So today, you're going to hear from the brand that we're putting on Amazon with the help of my co-host as well as a special guest. So without further delay, let's go ahead and bring them up so that we can get right to it, because all the people that are now watching us, they're probably going, just go ahead and tell me how to do it. Everybody's probably excited because we've been getting a lot of interest in wanting, people are asking, how do you do that? Because obviously in the Philippines, they see Amazon as this behemoth of a platform. So without further delay, let me go ahead and bring out my special guest and also my co-host. He is the founder of Bench Trading Post here in Northern California. He's joining me today. He's also my co-host because he is the expert. His name is Ed Santos, and I'm also bringing up Jiro Tamasi of Nature Earth of M2, and our special guest and also another Amazon specialist from the Market Geek. Please welcome Jason Mariano. So let me go ahead and bring up Ed Santos first. Ed, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, Ferdinand. Hi, magandang umaga. Good morning to all the Filipinos watching here.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge everybody in the Philippines. It's probably like I think it's like 10:30 now,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're probably in the middle of work and they're going, "Yeah, I want to see these guys talk about Amazon because we've been getting a lot." The last time you were in the show, a lot of people were asking about Amazon. I mean, I had a record number of viewers on LinkedIn. I didn't even look at YouTube and Facebook because at the end of the day, LinkedIn has always been a good platform for the show for professional buyers, and that's what we're hoping. And obviously, we also want to grow the YouTube side because a lot of people also watch it on that, and hoping to grow that here. So Ed, go ahead and start talking a little bit about yourself, and then I can go ahead and bring up the next guest. Okay, I mean the brand from the Philippines.
Sure. I'm going to make this tag list. So my name is Ed Santos. I'm a business owner here in California. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I migrated here when I was on my late teens. Fast forward, now I have a family and we run a business in Amazon. We're technically what they would call a third party retailer. So what we do right now is we buy products and we resell it in Amazon's marketplace, and that's what we do. And Amazon's a very fairly nice marketplace, and it has a very big reach. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Today, we're going to talk about market reach. We're going to talk about how to prepare a Philippine brand. We're going to talk about how to list a product, and then we're going to talk about how to sustain the product in Amazon. So you've got your work cut out for you, Ed. So you're going to be the main person here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce the person that you worked on. And I don't know if you want to show the site what you've done so far with it, but I'm going to go ahead and let you take it from here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the microphone, the camera, whatever you want to call it. And you go ahead and bring up Giro, and I'll probably pop in so that maybe I can join and see if you guys are having too much fun and I'm missing out. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, all right. So we'll start it off with this. So the last show we did, I can't remember, it was a few weeks ago. What happened is that me and Ferdinand got in and we did throw an announcement, more like a PSA, and it was just more of how we wanted to reach out and help a brand, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Filipino brand, but of course we want to help our Filipino community. Long story short, I met Jiro. He is the owner, or I'm not sure, part owner of M2. It's Moringa, aka Malunggay based drink. And I heard his story, his business, what his goals are. And ultimately, we agreed that our goals kind of aligned with each other. And so I helped him launch his product in Amazon. And we have a little bit of a good news. It's Jiro's product, M2 Malunggay, is finding a good amount of traction in Amazon, meaning we're getting orders. So that's good. And yeah, it's a pretty good story, and I think it's still kind of early to measure success, but overall, I think Jiro's product M2 Moringa drink really has a strong presence in Amazon, and it's going to sell good.
Ed, you can go ahead and bring up Jiro. I just wanted to tell you that don't forget to bring up also our other Amazon specialist. Okay.
Course, yeah, of course. All right, the next one we have is an expert. He is. I actually admired his website. I met him through Ferdinand. His name is Jason. He's an awesome and very knowledgeable Amazon expert. He's worked with a lot of brands that are here based in the U.S. But I shouldn't do a lot of his introduction because he really knows a lot of details on how to sell successfully in Amazon's marketplace.
Oh, hello.
Guys.
Hello.
I've also been doing Amazon for the past 5 years or so. Um, handling different accounts, mainly listing optimization and PPC campaigns and what have you. So I'm very interested in helping Filipino brands as well. So I'll just be watching and commenting if there's like anything that might be interesting. So thanks.
Yo, yeah,
Cool.
thank you, Ed, for the introduction.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, Jiro, do you want to introduce like M2 Malungay to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Again, my name is Jiro, and I brought M2 here in the US under M2 USA, and I've started. I brought the products here last 2021, and it was a little bit of a process since I had to make sure that the product is FDA approved or FDA regulated. I had to check all shipment and all the process. I had to do my diligence to bring the product here as legal as possible. So from then on, I started doing online. Uh, oh, from then on, I opened my online shop and then started to market through Facebook and social media, and then just went physically to pop-up events and did marketing there as well. So as far as the product goes, M2 has been around for, I would say, since 2015 when the first distributor brought it here, and now we're trying to get back some traction from that pause that we had from 18 to 2021. So we'll see where this goes. And we've recently started putting the product in Amazon, trying to test it out. And, with Ed's expertise, hopefully we would find success in there.
Awesome. Yeah, let's make money. All right. So let's start off with the first segment, e-commerce and Amazon's global reach. I think we'll just keep it general, and I'm going to start off with just something real quick: e-commerce growth globally and in the Philippines. So pretty much Amazon's market reach. I'm just going to speak about like my familiarity. I know they have other marketplaces in other countries like Japan. They have it in Mexico, Canada. They're all over the place. I'm surprised they're not in the Philippines. Must be some uh, what do I call this? Something going on. But I'm curious. But let's move on for that. I believe in Amazon's market reach because the audience here in the US is very, very much, I would say, accustomed in Amazon's delivery and just their whole ecosystem. And what I mean by that is that the simple fact that I myself, I'll give you an example. Uh, this is how Amazon always comes up when it comes to shopping. Okay, and that's kind of like number one is that when I'm going to a store, a retail store, a real store, and I'm trying to buy, let's say, a piece of fork. All right, I'm gonna look at, oh, which fork is better, which is not good. And so when I look at my phone and I want to do like a quick research because I'm already in the store aisles, Amazon always will show up in like page one of Google, and a good amount of times they will show up with products and results that are on the top page of Google. And so for me as a consumer, it will get my attention. I might look in the Amazon listing, I might look in the product, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I'm not alone on this. A lot of shoppers here in the US, and I think Jason and Jiro, I don't know if they do this. I don't know if their relatives do it, but that is like how shopping here in the US tends to be. And so that's just like the shopping behavior. And so like what the importance is, like, if your product is not on Amazon and it's not on retail stores, the a lot of American consumer or US consumers will have a hard time finding it. And so that's why it's very, very I think it's a very important strategy and a business decision to establish a presence in Amazon one way or another, and we can talk about that in some other episodes. But that's how much I believe in Amazon's reaches. It's just like really, it's almost it's a generic household term here in the U.S. And I'd let Jason and Jiro speak about their experience and their take on how big Amazon is here.
Do you want to go first, Jason, or?
Yeah. So right now, there are about 400 million people in the USA. So about more than 20% are Prime subscribers. So it's pretty much just like going to McDonald's nowadays. And then anytime you want to order something, you can get within hours. So it's very common to have products on Amazon. So it's a must. So
Yeah, so Amazon is basically like a household name at this point. It started with books. Now they just sell everything, and I wouldn't know of anyone who hasn't used Amazon at all to this day. So we can't what do you call that? We can't say that it's not popular. We can't say that it's not available everywhere, because it is everywhere. We see the trucks everywhere. We see stuff getting delivered every day here in our neighborhood. And that's how big Amazon is. It's a number one retailer here in the United States, wholesaler, name it, you got it. The name is very familiar. It's not even associated with the river anymore. It's associated with shopping, Christmas, everything commercial. So it's what do you call it? It's a no-brainer that I wanted my products to be in Amazon, because if my products are in Amazon, everybody would have access to it. Their payments are already set up there. They have accounts over there. If they have Prime, it's a one-day shipping. If it's if it's fulfilled by Amazon. But as of right now, we're still working on a lot of the stuff that needs to be done. But yeah, it's a no-brainer that I wanted to put my products on Amazon so everybody can have access to it.
All right. Hey, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jiro. Uh, both of what you said, I think, and I believe strongly too. Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, just to recap that, like I think Amazon's reach, even just here in the U.S. alone, is very strong. So if you're a Philippine-based manufacturer or brand or supplier, and you really want to establish a presence here, I know the traditional, in kind of like in the past, I'm not sure if it's still today, if it holds true today, you have to go to like a retail store to have presence here in the U.S. That's no longer the case. You can have a presence, and even if you just want to stay in Amazon too, or just online, you can do that as well. And so and we'll recap it there.
I always do that only because I seem like maybe subconsciously I don't want to talk to people. I always put myself on mute. Anyway, so let's end that segment of it, because like I said, what we're doing tonight is just going to do an overview of what Amazon is about. All of you guys have your own perspective. Jito, you talked about the motivation to want to go to Amazon because it's so huge. You almost don't want to overlook Amazon. And both of you guys, Ed and Jason, you guys have been doing that for such a long time that that's the way to go. I mean, in most cases, when you're trying to introduce a Philippine-made product. But I want to convey to the Philippine manufacturer right now, the people that are watching now, Amazon is huge. You can't ignore it. It's a huge channel that just has to keep wanting to that you just can't ignore. So how do you, as a Philippine manufacturer, prepare for that? So what we're going to do is, after we take a quick break, we're going to go ahead and get right into that on how you could prepare your brand into being a part of Amazon. But Jason, Ed, and Jito, now that they can tell you exactly what they've gone through, they can sort of relay that to you and how you can prepare yourself, and they can give their perspective. All right. With that being said, let me go ahead and take a quick 30-second break.
Hi, my name is Ron, and this is Teofilo Coffee Company. Where we drink coffee black.
And we are back. We are now, well, for all of you who just tuned in, for all the Philippine manufacturers watching us now, or anyone here in the US, you are watching Live at the Emporium. This is those series of segments regarding Amazon because we actually received a lot of good stuff or good. We had a good reception. A lot of people like what we were trying to do, and I figured let's go ahead and create a community of people who wanting to go. You know, the ones in the Philippines who want to go to Amazon. There's a lot to be done when you go to Amazon. It's not easy. Some of these guys will make it sound easy, but from someone like me, I have no idea. So I would assume that a lot of people in the Philippines who may not be familiar with Amazon, I know that you guys have, Lazada, Shopee, and all of that. Amazon is definitely something that you cannot ignore. So what you guys are watching right now, if you just tuned in, you're watching the segment called Dear Filipino Brands, your Amazon customers are waiting for you. And they are. And now we're going to get into that segment where we're going to talk about preparing Philippine brands for Amazon. So I have as my guest on Live at Emporium is Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post, Giro Tomasi of M2 Nature Earth, that's the name of the company, and also Jason Mariano of the Market Geek. So Ed, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you again, and then let's now get into the preparing the Philippine brands for Amazon. Okay.
All right. All right. Let's hop right in. Preparing Philippine brands for Amazon. Well, this would pretty much be any brand, in my opinion. It's like this. Let's fast forward to the fact that I'm gonna talk straight to you guys, the audience, that yes, you've made the decision you want to sell in Amazon, whether you just want to have a presence, whether you actually want to explore the market and see if your product has demand here. You've made a decision to sell on Amazon. Now, let's prepare your brand. My take is this. Like any other big endeavor, Amazon preparation. So a few examples of how we're going to start preparing your brand would be what kind of product do you have? If you have a product that would require some compliance, for example, as Jiro mentioned earlier, he has his M2 drink. He needed he needed to do some due diligence on compliance with the FDA because since it's a food product, those are the things that you need to prepare for as a brand from the Philippines. I think there's certain organizations that will give you I would call it like an FDA stamp of approval. I think it's called QAI. We'll talk about the details in the future. But let's say you're trying to sell a food product here in Amazon. You need to have those I guess certifications or approvals from the food department or FDA. So that's one example. Now, I'm just going to speak on generalities here. Another one would be, since you're going to sell your physical product, again, I'm going to go back to the fork, right? A real fork. Your customers can't touch your product. Your customers can't smell it. They can't see it. They can't feel like, oh, this is premium quality. And so you have to put your best foot forward in creating digital images. All right. And you don't have to spend like so much money, but really, really a nice image, you can call it image stack of your product to inspire your customers. For example, again, let's make the food product as an example. Oh, this looks so delicious. If it's a fork, oh, this fork looks like high quality. And so that's how you want to prepare your brand. And you have to remember that from day one, you are no longer selling to the Philippine market. And that's neither good nor bad. It's just different in Amazon. The consumer behavior is different. And so with that, I'm going to now ask Jason and then Jiro on how they think or if they have any ideas on how a Philippine brand can prepare to sell on Amazon. Go ahead, Jason. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, so they would have to start with a monthly subscription, which would be $39.99 to apply with a seller account. So that'd be the first step. And then they do have programs that'll help you, but there's different certifications, like what you mentioned, different requirements, and some things that can be listed and cannot be listed. And I've seen that it's doable. People are selling in the Philippines, and I think it's a great opportunity for Filipinos to show um, what they're capable of doing. So, um, and I'm glad that we started here. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, so preparing a brand, it's really you just want to make sure that Filipinos already recognize their brand, since you're coming to the US with a little bit of good expectation that the Filipinos here would respond good in with the products that you're bringing. So you got to make sure of that. And another thing that you have to make sure in preparing is that you have to make sure that you get your products here in the US, because it's very important for Amazon to have shipping that's on time and products are delivered, because they base a lot of their basis is for the rating, like your store rating and everything else. So if you get those two things, I believe that are really necessary for Amazon, you would be in a good spot.
All right. Not sure if we still have a few minutes here, but let me let me continue here. It looks like we still do. So I'll give you, if you guys are like it's like, oh, what in the heck are these guys talking about? I'm all the way here in the Philippines. Can I conduct business in the U.S. while physically being I guess based like being a Philippine based entity or business? My answer is yes. A lot of non-US based businesses conduct and sell actively in Amazon. How is that? It's just because conducting business here in the US is, I would say, and this is, I don't want to offend anyone, it's a lot easier than the Philippines. I've tried to establish a business in the Philippines a few years back, and they wanted me to have a physical presence there, like an actual office and all of that. Now, I didn't pursue it. I didn't think I thought my business wasn't that big to like have that much presence in the Philippines, and the cost was just very high. Now we're gonna flip it, because I want you to imagine that. Let's say, okay, you have a brand and you're ready. You've done all the checks and you have a checklist of your brand being prepared to sell here in the U.S. Now, what's next? You have the option to go and contact what we call a registered agent, and we'll talk about that in the future. But in general, those are your, I would call it representative here in the U.S. Actually, almost like vetting you. Say, hey, ABC company based in the Philippines is a legitimate company, and we are representing them. And so, with that, you can establish your presence here in the US way more affordable than a US based business if they were to do a business in the Philippines. And and so all of you brands and manufacturers in the Philippines can conduct business here, no problem.
Yeah, it's really important to have someone you trust here in the United States, where whether might be an agent that you hired or someone that you know that you could trust to run a business. The most important thing is that you have the same vision in mind with your business, not only to make money and to start a business, but you share the vision of the company, so that when you start it, there's really a lot of traction between you partners. Because if you're in the Philippines and someone is doing a business over here, communication is key, but also the presence here in the United States, so that at least when you're establishing a business, there won't be any delays if there are any paperwork that's needed to be done, power of attorneys that need to be signed, or shipments that you need to get. And I'm a segue into this, but Emporium has really done a great job in doing all of those.
I also just wanted to piggyback on what Jiro was saying about the logistics. So there's different ways that manufacturers could use 3PL in order to have their products here. physically. Um, I would suggest for you to have it physically here, like what Jiro said. So you could also work with your distributor as well. You could also try to ship it directly to Amazon. That's another thing too. But there's pros and cons to doing it, those different things. So, yeah.
They gotta weigh like whatever's best for their business. That's I
Right.
think what the best
Yep.
part.
Yep. Uh, oh,
I know that when it comes to, I'm back, gentlemen. I know that when it comes to preparing Philippine brands, I think most of the time, I'm all about. You guys are the expert, right? As far as Amazon and Jiro, you have experience of marketing your brand. But from a perspective of being an emporium, I just feel at the end of the day, there's a certain mindset that you need to have to prepare yourself to go to Amazon. Amazon is a great, great, great big marketplace, just like these gentlemen have already said to all of you, to all the Philippine manufacturers that are watching the show. And most of the time, you just need to realize that there's going to be certain challenges that you need to overcome. But the reason why it's important what Giro said about trust is because no matter how amazing you are in the Philippines, you're going to end up having to want to deal with people like Ed, people like Jason. Not that I'm trying to sell their services to you, but you need to have someone that trusts, that you can trust, just like what Gito was saying at the end of the day. To invest your resources, whether time or money, to go to Amazon is so worth it. But you need to be have that mindset that it's not the moment you put the product inside the marketplace that you're going to take off like crazy. It's not like that. It's just like anything else. The reason being that why it's important that you do that and prepare yourself, not only the product, but you as a brand owner, you need to prepare yourself to know that you got to have a plan by being in Amazon. And we're going to get into that now. So what we're going to do is, gentlemen, do you have anything else for me that you want to add before I go to our next break so that we can go into the next segment?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, we're
Good.
good.
I like that. You guys are. I think we need to drink some of Jiro's drink, man, because that's full of energy, bro. I like that. I think we need that. You should have passed that around, Jiro, before we started the show. Honestly.
I,
Okay.
I think I thought you had like a fundador behind you, man.
No, man, I'm actually, the Pundador is somewhere here, but I was just trying to keep it a really clean show and straight up to the Amazon. But we'll get to that. That's why I sort of want to just get through all the information that are basic. I just want all of our the people watching, and thank you guys for watching. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and flash some polls there, and let me know what you think of the show so far and what we're doing. But at the end, it's important that you give us some feedback on what type of information you want to listen to or hear, and then we'll give you that opportunity a little bit later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on another quick break, and then we're going to go set up for the next segment of our program. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, and right now. Right now, you just saw the commercial for the freight forwarding company that we use from the Philippines to bring Philippine-made products into the U.S. It's called RAF. So if you're interested in getting a quote from RAF, go ahead and hit me up, as they say, and let me know, and then we can go ahead and get you a quote if you're trying to bring your products from the Philippines and maybe into the Emporium showroom. Anyway, for all those people who just tuned in, thank you so much. You are watching Live at the Emporium. This is the show we're calling as Dear Filipino Brands. Your Amazon customers are waiting for you. And we'd like to think of it that way because what we're trying to do is really achieve this sort of a community with everyone watching or anybody who's going to watch us in the future, whether it's on YouTube or you watch it on Facebook, which is what we're trying to do is just let you know that there are people here in the US that are specialists that's part of Emporium, like Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post, Jason Mariano of the Market Geek, and then also the brand that we're trying to put on the site, which by the way is already on the Amazon site. His name is Jiro Tamasi of Nature Earth. and the name of the drink, the beverage is called M2. So we just finished two segments. Now we're into the third segment, where that segment, it is called the listing process on Amazon. So again, this is an overview. Our future shows, we'll talk about each one of them in a lengthier and more detailed manner. But right now, I'm going to bring it back to Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post. He will talk a little bit about the listing process, and then obviously I want Jiro to go ahead and give his perspective, and as well as Jason Mariano, because obviously he knows what he's doing also. So hey, Ed, take it away.
All right, thanks, Ferdinand. Okay, let's begin it with this. So everything's related. Each topic, each segment is related to each other. You prepare your brand, you prepare your product. So just to just backtrack for a little bit, and like a minute. So this is what's going to happen. I don't know. Let's say your product is there's a bunch of like products, but you have to remember this. Amazon is going to be, if you do decide to go FBA, it means fulfilled by Amazon. It means that's one of their biggest programs that makes shopping easy. And a lot of US based consumers, shoppers, are so accustomed to shopping and buying products through what they call FBA. It's like fulfilled by Amazon. Why is that? It's because you will get the product after you click your mouse and you place order. Most likely, you will get your product within 2 days. And I'm not saying business days, like literally like 2 days or less. Sometimes it may be longer, but in general, the promise is it's going to happen in like the next 2 days. So that's how powerful that thing is. And so what I mean by that is Amazon, be prepared, because Amazon is going to receive your product if you do decide to use their program, fulfilled by Amazon, FBA. They're going to receive your product and they will mail your product out to the consumer. Now, the reason I'm saying that it's a big thing, because if your product is not readily shippable, or they can't put it in a box so easily, or it's too fragile to be put on a box, you need to prepare your product to be able to handle just handling or shipping. All that action, like a mailman picking it up somewhere in the warehouse, or for example in the warehouse, they're preparing your product to be delivered to the consumer. Because if you don't prepare it, Amazon will make you prepare it, and that's a big thing. Now let's go back on the listing process on Amazon. Sorry about the background noise. The reason this is important is this. There's several reasons, but this is what's happening. Now, I don't know if your current business or your current brand has a website, but imagine your website, all right, and it's day one. There is no way for Google to really know your website and find out like, XYZ company, and make you rank on the very, very top. So people that are looking for XYZ company can find it unless it's very popular. The reason for this is that you have to, I would call it, train Google to make your website relatable to a certain search. Now, how does that relate to an Amazon listing? Amazon is, I don't want to say exactly or almost exactly like Google, but it's very similar to Google. That when you search something in Amazon, you want your product to have a good chance of showing up. For example, Jiro's product is a moringa drink or malunggay. So we have to create his listing to show up on at least page one, or do our best to make it show up on page one, either through advertising or just his listing alone, so his customers can find him. And the more that happens, the more your product will be found in Amazon. And so that's the biggest reason why creating a well-crafted listing is very important. And Jason here is very much of an expert on that. I'll let you take it from there, Jason, if you have any ideas.
Yeah, so it's just the same thing like what you're saying about um, Google. So Amazon was actually built based on Google. So search engine optimization, SEO. And then exactly, just piggybacking on what Ed said, in order for customers to find your product, there are different ways that people type certain keywords. So like, for example, someone could put water bottle, right? Let's say 16-ounce water bottle, and someone might want a blue one. And then somehow different keywords end up going to that same product. And in order for us to have the best listing, you need to do research and finding specific um, volumes and keywords that are ranking at the top for your product. It's the same thing on how Google works. You create different keywords and bring the traffic straight to the top or to the listing as it is. And using pay-per-click advertising would also help boost your listing as well. It's very competitive now, so sometimes you might need that extra boost, which would be additional advertising to promote your product.
Yeah, so I remember when I started doing the online marketing and promotion, mostly in social media, I remember I needed to think of keywords so that when people search it, I would be one of at least one of the people or products on the list when they search something, even just on Facebook. So keywords are very important. And I remember Ed, you sending me like a bunch of keywords, and I thought I had everything, like I had a good set of keywords. But when you send that list, I'm like, oh crap, I needed more keywords so that it would help my product move up the ladder of SEO. And I had to choose from that list. It was a little bit difficult because I don't want to misrepresent the product and the company. So I had to pick like the correct one. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are picking the exact one. You just have to pick words that are related to your product and words that would stand out for you and words that mean that and words that define your company too. So in searching for keywords, it's a little bit broad, but if you get someone like Ed or Jason to help you, they would narrow that list down to what's the top. They would narrow it down to ranking basically on what's helpful.
So just to recap that, like I think the biggest thing is again, you're unable to really physically show your customers in Amazon because they're looking at a screen, and so your next best foot forward, I would say, other than images, are your words. But how do you balance like Jiro, like what his company is, what his product is about, the benefits of his product? How do you balance that with, like, what Jason was saying, the searchability of your product? How do you show up on for example, if someone's looking for like Jiro, like a malunggay or a moringa related product, how would you put that in front of a customer? And that's where creating a I would say an SEO optimized, or SEO, as a well-crafted, optimized listing. That's why it's very, very important. And I don't know if we have a few more minutes. Do we have a few more minutes for that?
We actually do have a couple more minutes, but the thing that I want to emphasize to all the Philippine manufacturers, and I don't know if you guys are, and are just chime in, okay, is that there's a lot of different, again, I go back to that whole thought process. Everybody has a certain mindset. I'm sure they understand how to bring products back in, but what makes Amazon great again, and how do you leverage or sort of navigate your way into that? Because I mean, look, I know people who have listed their products in there, but it just sits there, right? At the end of the day, listing the process, it's sort of tedious and a lot of things to do. But in the end, what are some of the things I feel that they need to be aware of when they're listing it? I mean, other than the step by step listing it, but what is the end goal? What you want to make sure you do so you'll maximize your success in it. So if you guys want to just sort of end the segment with that, that's probably what I want to you guys have to to mention? Like, what is it that you feel that you really need to keep the eye on the ball as far as not just listing it, but what do you need to do to make sure that it actually does do a good job in Amazon?
Well,
Any one of you guys can do it.
yeah, well,
Jump in.
primarily I would say, the photos help, but most especially you got to have a lot of support in the back end where people will try your products. And at the same time, the description, you got to explain very well what your product is about. For me, it was a little bit difficult, and this is one of the challenges because no one knows what moringa is. I don't even know if people like okra, or ginger is the only one that probably would make sense, but they would tie that to turmeric. But I'm careful enough to not connect ginger with turmeric, but instead of moringa and okra. And the keywords help, the description helps, because any word that you put in there would really help what people are searching for. And as of right now, Ed said that we had another order. So I'm not going to say that it's an organic, that person is like a new search or an organic customer, but it would probably be a customer who has ordered before or someone who knows what moringa is. So the knowledge and the information that you put in the product would be like a great seller for being successful in Amazon. And I guess the most important part is that as a business you have to deliver. So if you say that you're going to ship to this day, and how many business days it will arrive, it should be there. Since I don't have fulfilled by Amazon, I can't send the product within the 2 days. So I would have to make sure that it's in the description how many days I have to ship and prep the order.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the difference between like someone that's just listing the product and then someone that might know more about um, the ins and outs of Amazon is that there are different things that you can do in the back end when listing a product, and they're like little minute things that you can see, like when someone lists the product, there might be some keywords, pictures, descriptions, and what have you that aren't um, what they've listed, like what Jiro said when Ed was able to um, add all those extra keywords and what have you. So and there's a lot of imperfections that Amazon has where they are errors, and that's where we come in and try to help you fix that. This can be very time consuming, and Amazon is still working on trying to fix things like that. So, but the main thing that I feel that manufacturers need to press on would be making sure that their brand is what they're trying to convey towards the U.S. market, and be willing to adjust to like how the U.S. is, since there are not as many Filipinos as in the Philippines, but there are a majority in the U.S. Nurses are also everybody knows nurses here, so there a majority of them are Filipino, and they're all spread out through the U.S. And I think um, if the Philippines is able to establish their presence here, it's very easy for logistics. If I buy something online, it you can buy it anywhere in the whole United States, and like what Ed said, it'll be there in a couple of days. So the other thing is getting your products here in the U.S. So yeah.
With
Um,
that being said, though, I know that we have a special guest into the studio, as they say. So let's go bring on our special guest of live at the Emporium. You got a new dog, Ed, right?
Yeah, he's taking over my life and
Look,
my
look how cute this dog is. A golden retriever, right?
yeah. But don't worry, she's helping me think. So it's
Yeah, I mean, look, if
She's
we just
trained in
put on the
Amazon.
camera, probably if we all just take ourselves out, you just put the dog in there, you're probably getting more people wanting to watch the doggone show.
there you go. Put her as a thumbnail.
Yeah, look, you can just, look what I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. check it out. See there, see, look at that. Look how amazing looking this dog is. Look, because we have one too, and I love golden retrievers. Anyway, so I don't want to turn into the dog show, but I mean this dog. What's the dog's name, Ed?
Bailey.
Bailey. Cool name. I love it. All right. So getting back to the show, basically, now the thing that I want to cap that off again is the listing process. We've done that. I mean, a lot of the things that you guys said are really critical because many people, again, my own experience with talking with manufacturers in the Philippines, you put it on Amazon, they think it's going to be amazing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's going to, this, what I'm saying to you will lead into the next segment. Just because it's on Amazon, that doesn't mean it's a done deal. It's like putting if you're in a grocery store, and then you put it at the bottom of like a corner shelf and nobody knows about it. Oh yeah, it's in the grocery store, but there's nothing to it. Okay, you listed it, it's there. So all these gentlemen, what they're saying, that's why I said to you guys, the people that are watching from the Philippines, this is a long drawn out way. We want to build this community. We want to talk about how are you going to get your products in there and be smart about bringing it in there. You can't do all of that in one sitting, as much as I'm trying to coordinate all of this, and the guys will probably agree with me. So with that being said, let's go into the next segment. But before we go into the next segment, I'm going to go ahead and put in, if the people that are watching right now, go ahead and give me some perspective. I'll take a poll. Just give me what's your experience with Amazon. If you already are on Amazon, you like it, don't like it, you're indifferent, you don't give a crap, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just type anything in. And then I'll go ahead and we'll try to respond to you. But that's your poll for tonight, maybe one more. But before we go to the next segment, let's go ahead and go into a commercial. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And here, I think you go. All right, we are on the last segment of this very, very broad overview of what it's like, or we're going to do, or what you need to know about Amazon, Philippine manufacturers and brand. Going into Amazon is a big task, but it's worth it. But you have to know how to go in there and not waste time, not waste money, and that's important. When you're a small business, you can't do that. You try to minimize it. You have to take your risk, but at the end of the day, all we're trying to do here in this show is give you an overview and then maybe expand on it a little bit in future shows. Like each of these topics that we have up on the screen, all of that can be a one show if you really think about it. But we're trying to make it so that it's not completely boring or drawn out, but it's hard when you're trying to teach and be entertaining at the same time. That's why I had to resort to the dog. To do that. Okay. So with that being said, let's go into the next slide. I want to go ahead and just briefly express this, guys. I did my own little research, and there are Philippine products on Amazon now. And the ones that I think that are doing relatively well, and again, I use the word relatively well, is the food and beverage products. I've seen one there. It's called Philippine brand. Exactly. That's what it's called. I think they have dried mangoes. They have also beauty and personal care. I saw one there. Shout out to New Placenta. That's the name of it. It's a health and wellness soap. And then handicrafts and culture. I think there's an opportunity there. So if you make handicrafts and cultural items, there's an opportunity there, because I didn't see too much. But then again, I don't want to say like I really scanned it. But in my casual scan, I didn't see too much. And then apparel and accessories, the ones that I would put Philippine products or T-shirts, the one that I mostly saw were the ones that are appearing, I guess, in the front are mostly T-shirts. And again, these guys can give me their perspectives. And then I also, in the health and wellness category, I saw a lot of virgin coconut oil. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's worth it. But you guys have to be smart with Philippine manufacturers, because there is a lot of opportunity there. So I don't know if you guys want to just chime in and give me your perspective about those brands or products that I mentioned, maybe briefly before we go into the next category, guys. I'll start with you, Ed. What do you think of what I just said?
I think it's pretty good. I think you nailed everything. What? Okay, so food and beverage. I think there's a lot, and I'm pretty big on selling food in Amazon, and so you have your big brands here. I wouldn't say they're established just as compared to other I guess competitors that are based not based in the Philippines but just based in Asia, and so that's an opportunity. Beauty and personal care. I haven't seen the new placenta, but I know for sure because I have seen the their sales. Uh, Sorry, what is that? Bello, like the soap. They are just lightning soap. They're winning. They hold that category really good. Handicrafts, cultural items. This is very interesting, and I'm not really well versed on this, but I think this is an opportunity, like what you said, apparel and accessories. This is also interesting because I have a different take on just like brands in general, and we can talk about it more, in next episode. And like health and moving on, like last one, health and wellness. I think yeah, virgin coconut oil, health and wellness in general in Amazon is a big, very lucrative category, and I think I like health and wellness because I think it's one of those categories that you can really command a good margin for your products because it's just based on like your customer's perception of how premium your product is, and I'm a fan of premium brands. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, from my perspective, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for all the Filipino brands, especially in consumables like food and beverage. I did find out that there are some products like chips that have opportunity where even like a bag of chips is selling like 7,000 units per month, and everybody's also getting like thousands sold per month. Um, I've seen some of the other products that they do sell. They're also selling barongs and what have you here, and at a healthy price. I've also saw that they're like rattan, large, luxurious products from the that they're trying to sell as well. So yeah, there's just so much opportunity to be selling different types of Filipino products. And the thing is that we won't just be marketing towards Filipinos; it'd be marketed towards the whole U.S. And that's where you'd be able to capitalize on spreading your market share. Um, for these other things, health and wellness, yeah, I've also seen that. Also, Baracco coffee, that's like something that's also trending. But I've noticed that the big manufacturers like Datu Putty, I think this was like in the other segment, they don't fully optimize their listings. So that's like the way that you guys can capitalize on that if you're not a big brand already. And if you are a big brand, just improve your branding and what have you. So if it were beauty and personal care, and if you're trying to go into like a competitive market, definitely gonna be an advertising budget that you need to think about. But yeah, definitely profit margins with the beauty space. Since I've worked with other U.S. beauty products as well. Um, mhm.
Yeah, as a product from the Philippines, it's a little bit difficult to go into a lot of the markets because it's dominated by, if we go to food and beverage, there's a lot of, drinks that would compete with M2. But I just want to say that we could leverage on health and wellness products because of the ingredients that we have. And yeah, it's a Filipino market in general, the Philippine market here in the US in general, it's a pretty broad but up and coming market. And a lot of Filipinos that go here, even though they're here already in the US, are still longing to get those products that they want, the brands that they like, and the food that they want to eat or stuff that they want to own. And uh food and beverage is really like top of that. So if we can break into that market share and be in health and wellness products, that would be like, already gold mine for us.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Filipino products that I've seen, they do have that where like you're surprised that like they're very healthy. They're starting to come like the malunggay, right? That's very healthy, and that's like where people in here in the U.S. don't even think about. Like there are malunggay products, but then that's where even Filipinos will start to think about healthiness, and then even chips are starting to become organic, vegan, or like even a completely different thing. So health and wellness is definitely somewhere Filipino brands can tap into, and I've seen that their ingredients. Nice.
All right. So I guess it's my turn. so I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I have a little bit of a different take on brands because I think from the get go, you need to find out what you want to do here in the US. Do you just want to sell primarily to Filipinos or people that are familiar with Filipino products, flavors, or crafts? That type. Do you want to establish your brand synonymous to just Filipino consumers? Because if that's the case, then I think that's a different, like presentation and a lot of, I guess, uh, similar marketing can be translated here through your Amazon listing. But here's the big but. If you want to make way more money, you need to change your perspective. Why is that? It's because shoppers here are different. You see, what's going on is that there is a little bit more discretionary disposable income here, and so I'm going to make food and beverage as an example. All right, since more people here have more a little bit disposable income, and they can easily try things. That's where the opportunity lies. And so what I'm saying is that if you just market to Filipinos alone and you don't translate the benefits of your product, the yumminess of your product in a way where other non-Filipinos can understand it, you're losing out a big audience. And so if you think about that, you need to kind of like prepare yourself, your product, and your brand to market to non Filipino consumers because it's a way bigger market. But that is all your choice and your decision, and that's kind of like your goal. If it lines up with your goal, I say go for it. I think that's a bigger market. But if not, it's fine. Just sell to Filipinos here in the U.S. Uh, because I don't know if I didn't know this when I was living in the Philippines, but the beauty of Amazon is this. There's not a lot of Filipino groceries here in the US. I myself, Jiro, and Jason, we're all based here in California, and so is Ferdinand. I would say we're a little bit spoiled on the weather. I complain about the rain, but there's a ton of Filipinos spread all over the US that don't have access to Filipino stores, Asian stores that easy compared to what we have here in the US. And that's where Amazon comes in. And that's where you can sell to Filipinos consumers all over the US because some of them are out in the East Coast or Midwest where they're having a heavy snowstorm right now. So are they going to go out there just to buy some patis? No, they're going to order it in Amazon. And so that's where your product comes in. And that's, again, one of the highlights of Amazon. Like they can just buy it a lot more convenient than going into a traditional retail store. I don't know if we still have time, but yeah, that's kind of what I have, guys. I don't know what's
So
here.
what I wanted to get into now is the next segment. We'll end it right there with the next segment. So far, we talked about how to prepare the Philippine brand and why we made a case for why it's amazing for Filipinos to want to be on Amazon, and also how to prepare yourself in it. So now, like I said before, that was what I was trying to segue into. Okay, you're in. Okay, how do you segue? How do you make sure that you're successful? Because if you're not diligent, you're not top of mind about how to keep on improving it, and you think, like I said, if you're just in there, you think you're amazing already. You're not. I'm just being straight up. You're not, and you need to do certain things, and that's what I wanted to segue into, Ed, and tell about how do you just sustain success on Amazon. This is where you and Jason and Jiro has, I'm sure, has a little bit of experience with that, but most of it is coming to come from you, Jason and Ed. How do you do that? You guys have seen products that didn't do so well, and you've seen products that did really well. Tell us briefly about that, and we can end the show with that.
Sure. You want to start this one, Jason?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, being different, like branding your brand really well is what I've noticed. If you're always staying top of your competitors, you just have to keep adapting to what's happening, and Amazon keeps changing as well. So whether it's the fees or whether it's a technical issue, you just need to keep staying up to date. Just like what Ed was mentioning, they updated their character count, which is in the back end, which will help with search terms and keywords. I've noticed that usually the companies that start small and try not to go hard, it's very hard for them to build traction, because once those people that go all in try to get to the top of the ranking or front page, they try to sustain there. So you just keep pumping out advertising, marketing, and what have you, and doing your best. And usually the small companies will start to fall behind. But there is a positive note to that. If you're able to differentiate yourself compared to the competitors, whether it's some sort of patent or trademark or something that distinguishes you from everyone else that no one else can take, then you can definitely stand out no matter what, especially when it comes to food, right? Because not everybody knows how to make what you make. When it comes to other things like water bottle or any other like giftable item that can be copied, like a Me Too product from China, then that's like when it becomes hard to differentiate yourself. But since majority of the manufacturers in the Philippines are there are different things that are doing, like handmade stuff or food, I feel like there's a lot that can be done here, trying to sell your products on Amazon, and just doing the best you can, trying to sustain it. Yeah. Did you want to chime in, Ed?
Yeah. I think we're on the. But I'll make it like that too, like sustaining success. I'll make it that part. It like just to give. I like analogies. All right. So here's the thing. Like what Ferdinand keeps saying, and we all believe it. It's like it doesn't mean that you make your listing in Amazon that you're going to get success and people will just drool over your products. No, even you can't do that in a retail store. Right? What in the world do they know about your product? This time they can't even touch it. So it's like so you it's a big I guess task for a brand or a product to really make someone convinced, like, oh shoot, I gotta buy this now before it runs out. And that's not easy to do unless you're a legacy established brand. And the other one too is that um, the I guess just to um, the sustaining success in Amazon is my opinion. I think I shared it with Jason and Jiro before. Is that the consumers here in the U.S. are shifting. So I'm going to talk about. Jason showed me like his boy bawang earlier, but yeah, they have a funky listing. But the consumers are changing. Why is that? All right. So you have your first, second, third generation Filipino families. All right. And everyone's pretty much accustomed and used to all that Filipino flavors. Thumbs up. That's a good thing. But guess what? The later, the younger generations, those consumers, Filipinos, are used to their lolas or aunties flavor cooking. Just for example, we're talking about food. But they are being more label conscious. And so their perspective on products are changing. And so What I'm saying is that you don't want to lose those customers, the future Filipino flavor customers, for example, for food products, just because you can't compete with um, your competitors who have, for example, cleaner ingredients, or they have better packaging, or they are better in, like, I guess, describing or conveying to their customers how good their product is, uh, based on their Amazon listing. You don't want to be left in the dust because your competitors are going to dominate your category. And so, I guess that's a little bit of a shout out to all those established brands in the Philippines. Don't ignore your Amazon presence here. Pay attention. Like Jason said, he's seen some funky listings. That's opportunity for more market share, more money, more revenue, and more customers. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, so sustaining success on Amazon, I want to have a realistic expectation here. For personally for the brand and for the company, Jason and Ed sees like the overview of what's going on Amazon in a bunch of different products, Filipino products or whatever products that they watch. But personally, I'm only looking at competitors that's near to what products I sell. So, for example, there's a lot of moringa capsules, dried moringa, moringa tea that's bitter, and all that. So, in a space where this my product can be a casual beverage that's healthy, there's really not a lot that's competing with me right now. We're trying our best to optimize the product so that it would elevate the healthier first versus the casual beverage. But my expectations being on Amazon, it's a little bit realistic to a point where it's a fault because I don't want to be in Amazon when I'm not ready to deliver on the products. So I'm trying my best to pace it and be slow and be strategic on the moves that I'm gonna do instead of just putting my, let's say if I have marketing dollars to put in all the marketing, I don't want to do full force 100% because I don't want to be caught off guard in not being able to deliver the products that I can. And that in turn would not help the feedback and the ratings, and as well as my delivery. So, my principle for this is under promise and over deliver, basically, not the other way around, over promise and under deliver, because it's not going to be helpful since I'm just an emerging product. Like even right now, I'm just a small business.
You see that listening to you guys give me a lot of different perspectives that I'm the one outside looking in, right? Because I don't know what Amazon is about as far as that. And I was just going to lead into that for all the Philippine manufacturers out there thinking about going to Amazon, like I said in the beginning, you can't ignore the hugeness of Amazon's reach, right? You can't. But there are other ways to market the products. Just depends. So there's a lot of thought process that you need to do to create that opportunity for your products. And you need to go ahead and look at Amazon first, look to see how amazing it is. And there's a lot of pluses and minuses. And I'm the one who's going to sort of be like in the middle of this thing. But overall, my thing is always go to Amazon, look at the platform and see how it can thrive. And I did my own little research. So I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off some of the things that I saw there that you could do to sustain it, right? I read that, optimize product listing, leverage Amazon SEO, utilize Amazon advertising tools, focus on customer reviews and feedback, manage inventory, competitive pricing strategy, fulfillment by Amazon, build a brand store. I mean, there's at least 4 more there I'm not going to read because at the end of the day, Amazon is huge. It can do a lot of things for you, but whether it fits your business model and your product, that's another thing too. Because as much as I think these guys that I have on the show and all of them are my collaborators, they're also going to know that there's just certain products that may thrive in there, but you have to go through it first and see for yourself and then make the adjustments. I don't know if you guys completely agree with me, and I'll do the agree to disagree to a certain degree, but that was just my perspective in what I see what Amazon can do for Philippine made products. And maybe just let's go around really quick around each other, like the room, so to speak, and let's just end it with everybody's perspective on that. Let's end it with that. And then again, for those watching the show, we're going to sort of stretch out each of the segment that we did, and please continue to watch. And we're going to continue creating content for that, because we definitely want to create a community where we help those people who really are dying to be on Amazon. All right, so we'll end it with your comments first. Giro, we'll start with you. About what I just said to you about your brand and how you want to see Amazon moving forward?
Yeah, so personally, my expectation again, it should just have my product should just have like a constant stream of customers. And being a Filipino brand in Amazon, it really feels great to have a distribution like that, or access to a lot of customers, so to speak, or clients, that they'll be able to see that my product is growing. I guess being on Amazon is already a sign of being right up there. So just having that is a great feeling. And I would just want to emphasize on trust. These people that are with me, I'm talking to you guys, Philippine manufacturers and brand. These people over here, Ed, Jason, and Ferdinand, will really do a great job in helping you bring your products over here. And they have the knowledge and the expertise to do so. So I would really leverage on that, the help that they can give you. If you can contact them and just reach out to them, that would be great for you guys, and they'll be great help to you as well for just growing your business. Yeah.
Jason, go ahead, and we can end it with Ed. And then I want to go ahead and show the actual listing already. We won't go into it only because we're running out of time. We're way over time, but go ahead, Jason, and give me your perspective on what I just said, along with Giro, and then we'll end it with Ed.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to talk about how like the strategy that I was bringing in. Yes, so you can get into the market and not be as competitive. Right now, the Malunggay drink, like what Jiro said, is like not as many people are selling that drink, so he's getting more visibility, which like he has a differentiation, which makes it a good thing. The other thing I wanted to say was that we didn't bring it up about FBM, fulfillment by merchant. So if you're able to have your products here, you'd be able to cut on costs, because Amazon fees might be something that you want to look into, whether you want to take it that route or do fulfilled by merchant. The only difference is that fulfilled by merchant, you won't be able to ship as fast as Amazon. And then I think that's like where you could capitalize on like a higher profit margin as well. So that's what like another strategy that you're able to do, creating like FBM listings and also doing FBA listings as well. If that's what some manufacturers are interested in. But yeah, that's what I have right now. You want to take it away, Ed?
Oh yeah, all right, ready to take away. If anyone got distracted with all the distractions around my background, I apologize, but this is life, and we're real people. Jason's a real person. Giro's a real person. Ferdinand, we're real people. You can contact us. You have a crazy question, you have a legitimate question, doesn't matter. We'll help you out. If we know it, we'll help you. If we don't, we'll let you know. Everyone in this live stream is very genuine and honest, in my opinion. We have worked together informally, and we're all Filipinos. I do believe that there is a lot of opportunity here for Filipino brands. I am very proud that I'm somewhat associated with helping out Giro's brand. Um, Also, I'm also very proud. Jason, he's he's running his agency very nice. It looks very nice and polished. I'm borderline jealous with it, but I'm just sharing this because we're real. And if you do have questions, I think it's best to explore it, because I'm not really Mr. Doom and Gloom, but there's a lot of competition in business. There's a lot of competition there in the Philippines, on your business, but also at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity here. And so I don't know if you're running out of customers, or if you're, I don't know how profitable you are in the Philippines. It doesn't mean that, Amazon's your answer, but is it something worth exploring? Absolutely. And you don't even have to like sell in Amazon and let that be like your main uh, uh, channel or your main way of selling your product. It can just be like your your product or your brand's business card. Because I want you to imagine this. Let's say I go to trade shows. You go to a trade show, you exhibit on a trade show, you have a lot of retailers go there, a lot of suppliers go there that are US based. Now they look at your product, okay, they look at it, they like it. Now, do you have a website? 50-50, yes or no? Now, are you on Amazon? I don't know. If they don't see you there, how can you then tell them or show them your credibility? Right. And so even if you just want to like you don't want to sell Amazon, say, oh, this online thing is not for me, you just want to sell Seafood City, Island Pacific, all of them other major retail chains, you still need to have some street cred, some legitimacy, because you might be popular in your I would call it old high school in the Philippines, but doesn't mean you're going to be popular here. So but there is a way, and we'll help you find that way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to promote. Like I said, the filter, the gateway should be, I feel, Amazon. But you're going to make some changes only because certain things may or may not be happening for you, and that's just business. So I'm not saying anything to sort of sway you from that. Trust me, you need to go to Amazon, and work with these guys, because these guys know what they're doing. They know how to properly optimize your listing. But in the end, that's their job, and they're going to do their best. But you still have to be committed mentally and financially to do that. And that's the part that you guys all need to understand, all the manufacturers that are watching this right now, because in the end, what we're just trying to do here is create some sort of community to make it so that it's not so painful, whatever you decide to do, because it's not. That's just part of business. If you think it's painful, then don't do business. I mean, let's just be honest. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to do that. So like I said to you, I'm going to end the show now, but at the end, but I'm trying to also show the fruits of Ed Santos's labor and Giro. But I can't put too much time in it. I mean, that's the reason why I told you that it's so quick in this hour. It's over past an hour already because I talk too much. As for one, I could do like 30 minutes all by myself. So what's going to happen here is we need to do more lengthy episodes that will just focus on one topic, and then we can discuss that. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show you the creation of the fruits of the labor of Ed Santos and Giro Tomasi, and here it is. So now, as you can see, it is now on Amazon. So I don't know if you guys want, Ed, I said we would end it, but it's on Amazon. So just talk about it briefly, Giro, if you want to say something, and then we can just end it from there.
All right, yeah. So real quick, more than half of the customers in Amazon here in the US are using their mobile devices. So I know for a fact that I need to make it very, very fitting in a mobile interface. And so that would be the first goal. And so when you're looking at Amazon, the reason I picked like 6 bottles there is that when someone searches and finds Giro's product, his brand, they will see, oh, it's a 6-pack. It's a 6-pack bottle, because it is a 6-pack, and Amazon has certain fees, and they can get fairly high. And so you just don't want to sell a cheap product because like the fees alone will eat it. All right. So unless it's very light and very small, you go for like a higher retail price. And so that's kind of like the my goal there. That price is a little high. We're testing pricing right now, but yeah, it's still a work in progress. But I think Giro's brand really has a good shot in Amazon, and actually carving out a new customer base for his brand.
Yeah, we're trying to steer it in a direction where it's not gonna stay on health and wellness for a long time, but we'll combine both, like at least health and more casual. Since it's the Philippines, it's more on moringa, lactation, nursing moms, everything else that helps them. But over here in the US, it's different. We can't really just claim anything. So we're trying to steer it in a direction where it would be more casual, so people can have access to it. But I didn't do any work for this. It's all Ed. So all Ed did everything. I just picked the keywords and
I
yeah.
wanted to do the reveal at the end. I mean, all the stuff that we're talking about, because at the end, this is a big deal for our Emporium to be a part of a process of showing the Philippine manufacturers that as a group, as an ecosystem, that's what we're just trying to build with Emporium. I'm very thankful for these guys to want to partner up or collaborate with Emporium because um, promoting Philippine made products in general, and whether it be Amazon or the other methods which I've mentioned in the past, is a big task, everybody. So all of us here have the same mindset. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to, for you to trust us and that our heart's in the right place. But we're also businessmen. So that's just because we do all those things. That's another aspect of, we always want to be fair with everything that we do because each one of these professionals, they do work very hard. So that's why I keep trying to tell everyone who wants to go to Amazon, who wants to go to the US market, that you need to be prepared. You need not only the product mentally and also having a budget to be able to do that and to sustain that. As much as I want to wave my magic wand like a Harry Potter and say your product is going to be amazing the moment I touch it, I'm sure there's at least one, maybe three people that can do that. But whether they're going to charge you an arm and a leg to do that, that's another thing that you guys need to consider. But like I said, Amazon is your entryway into the US market because they've cornered that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. For all those who have been staying and watching us, thank you. May Cruz was on here. She is one of our big supporters. Her message is so huge it was covering it's covering its face. Ed, you're amazing. Thank you. And Bailey, thank you. Tell Bailey. So we had a little bit of a break and seeing our ugly faces there. And also there she is. That's cool. And then Giro, thank you. We're gonna invite all of these guys again to the show and stretch this out and focus on one segment because, like I said, it takes long. Thank you, Jason, for being here and giving us support. You know the story. Appreciate you being here. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching and continue to watch. We're doing a seminar this Saturday, an in-person seminar at Teofilo's Coffee House in Los Alamitos, California. We're gonna do a little bit of not these guys, me. We're doing how to source, ship, and sell Philippine-made products, and we continue to do that to continue promoting Philippine-made products. But on the Amazon side, these are you guys. These are the guys that are going to help you. These are the guys who's going to answer any questions. So if you have any questions, please send us a message. Again, say good night to all of you. Thank you so much for watching and peace out.